I'm going to show you some more behind the scenes of an Upwork job post so that you understand the factors of what affects whether a client sees your proposal and whether they click on it and decide to interview you. Because there could be 20, 30, 50 proposals for a job, and how do you make sure that the client sees yours? Is a very common question that I get. Should I boost it? Should I not boost it? What is the viewpoint of the client as they're scrolling through proposals? Does it matter when I submit my proposal? Do I need to submit it within the first 30 minutes to be seen? Let's go over a few of those things. So here's a job post that I posted recently on Upwork, an actual job post. And so this is what it looks like to the client when they're scrolling through proposals. Now, as you can see here, so by default, Upwork organizes your proposals by best match. Upwork uses their own algorithm for determining what the best match is. So what they look at is the relevancy of your job title to what the job post is. They also look at the qualification, so the experience of the freelancer and their job success score. So some of these, so these ones, these first few proposals are not on top because of best match. They're on top because their proposal was boosted. So if we scroll past the ones that are boosted, okay, so the first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 are being boosted. After that, now Upwork is determining best match based on whether the relevancy of their job history as well. What are some recent jobs that they've had on their profile? And is it similar to the job that I posted for? But then also their success score. Are they top rated or not? Plays a part. If I put an hourly rate range in my job post, that will also affect whether Upwork pushes the profile into the best match category. Now that doesn't mean, again, because like I've said in previous videos, the client might have put $20 to $30 an hour as their hourly range, but they were just trying to put some kind of placeholder. But you're going to be charging way more, and that's okay to still apply to that job. Again, that's just one minor way that Upwork determines the best match. That's not one of the significant ways that it determines it. It's not only looking at whether your hourly rate fits within the range of the job post. That's like one small aspect. As you can see here, most of these freelancers have had quite a bit of money earned on the platform as far as which ones they're putting as best match. And now this will change with every proposal that gets submitted. Upwork will reorganize the best matches and who's on this first page versus who's not. So as you can see, I'm scrolling down, and that's how many, and then it goes to load more. So it doesn't break it up in pages. It just goes to load more after a time. But as you can see, the vast majority of these are 100% job success freelancers, even though I did not specify in my job post what success score I wanted. I didn't specify that. If we go back to the job post, I only specified the hourly range, which again, doesn't matter a ton, more than 6 months. I'm looking for intermediate. So this is it as well. If I'm looking for an expert, Upwork is more likely to surface profiles with more experience, higher hourly rates, etc. Intermediate, it's likely to give me a mix. Okay, and that's all I specified. So going back to the proposals again, something I wanted to show you is that, yeah, it has this best match tag on here. But the client has the option of going up here and sorting based on newest applicants. All right, and sometimes clients will do that. So, a common belief is that if you are the first one to the punch and you're submitting a proposal within 5 minutes, that you're going to be the one that gets noticed because you're trying to get your proposal in there before another 50 are submitted. And then yours disappears in the mix. Most clients, when they post a job on Upwork, they post it, they might search through a couple of freelancer accounts and go ahead and invite a few freelancers, and then they log off and they might not log back in to review their proposals for at least a day, sometimes more. Because that's pretty typical when they're hiring even employees, when they're hiring anyone, they have to wait a few days for all that job applicants, the resumes, the proposals to come in before they're even going to spend the time sorting through them. So you being the one that's submitted within that first hour usually doesn't make a difference. Because especially if the client organizes this by newest applicants, then you could be somebody submitting a proposal the next day or 2 days later, and your proposal actually shows up first because they're looking at it based on the newest applicants, not the ones that submitted a proposal first. Now, they can also sort it by oldest applicants, but I'm pretty sure that's less common. I think a client is usually more likely to organize it by newest applicants, and sometimes they might do highest earnings, but I feel like most of the time, they're probably just keeping it on the default of best match and then sometimes clicking on newest applicants. So as you can see here, as we scroll through which profiles are being shown, let's go to the very bottom and take a look at what profiles are at the very bottom of this list. There's 50 proposals in here. Okay, so now let's count these. All right, I'm going to exclude the ones that are boosted because those are always just going to be on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Now let's see. This one's interesting because the number 12 proposal is not 100% job success. They're not top rated. So let's try to see why Upwork put this on the number 12 spot, not like 50. It could be because of relevancy of their job title. It could be because, that's another thing. I did specify that English needs to be native or bilingual. So Upwork is very likely, I'm sure of it, as part of their best match determination, they're scanning whether the freelancer's profile is native or bilingual as one of the factors that play into whether their profile gets surfaced near the top, because she doesn't have hardly any experience. I mean, not even rising talent, no job success score. Why is she number 12? Now let's look on this next one that does have a job success score. Actually, let's scroll down even a couple. Okay, 100% top rated, 100% job success score. Why is she 2 profiles after this other one? Okay, it's still English native or bilingual. Job in progress. See, her job title is not even as relevant, I would say, to that other one. So I'm going to say right now that the relevancy of the job title, SEO manager, SEO is something that I specified in the job post. So it could be that Upwork's like, hey, the relevancy of her skills here more closely align with the job post, whereas down here, her skills, she doesn't have anything related to SEO. Yeah. And SEO is one of the main things listed on my skills for the job post. So I'm going to say that that's one of the biggest reasons, is the relevancy of her skills to my job post is less than the relevancy of this girl. And that's why she has a higher position here with these proposals. So that's something you have to, continually analyze. And that's why you do need to have that niche, and you have to make sure that the jobs you're applying to do have that relevancy. But it's okay that you still apply jobs that aren't fully relevant. You just have to try to get their attention in other ways. Because let's keep scrolling down. Okay, now we're getting to the point where we're no longer in 100% job success score. We're maybe at the 15, the proposal that's in number 15. And now we're at 94%, 87, 87. So now they're starting to surface some profiles with lower job success scores. even though, again, I did not specify job success score in my job post, but Upwork is still ranking things based on that. Now let's see who's at the very bottom. Okay, now you're getting more with $0 earned. 33% job success score. So as we get down, there's still a couple of 100%ers. But again, I think it's the relevancy of their skills. These skills are not nearly as relevant to my job post as some people that are higher up. And then there's a bunch of $0 earned, a bunch of brand new freelancers to Upwork. Let's see who else is at the bottom of this. Yeah, hopefully this is helpful to you in being able to see. Okay, now we're at the very bottom. How Upwork is organizing the proposals. Because again, one of the most common questions I get is, how do I get my proposal seen? And I will say right now that one way to get your proposal seen is to check out my course in the link below, Upwork Mastery, and I go through different tips and tricks for creating proposals and submitting to jobs and optimizing your profile so that your proposals are showing up higher on this list. And right now, I will review your profile or proposal for free if you sign up for the course and you're part of the next 50. So go ahead and check that out. It's called Upwork Mastery. So yeah, right at the bottom, we have a bunch of $0 earned, a lower job success score. Also, these hourly rates are actually below my minimum. A couple of these. Some are within the thing. But let's look at like... Now remember him, this guy Naveen, on one of my first videos right after I posted the job. He was one of the first ones that submitted a proposal, and I actually invited him to apply to the job. I saw his profile amongst only 5 others within those first few minutes. But again, one of the reasons why I was still on my job post scanning through stuff and I hadn't logged off is because I was creating this video, right? But if I was normally posting a job, chances are I would have already logged off and I wouldn't have even seen his proposal because I wouldn't have logged back on until the next day to even start reviewing proposals. So just because he was one of the first doesn't mean that the client will necessarily see his proposal. And you have to think psychologically too. If you're submitting your proposal within a minute, so you're trying to catch that client while they are still logged on, and you think they happen to see it, even if they do see it come in, they're not taking those proposals very seriously, and they're not thinking that you are the most qualified just because you were the one that submitted. Because if you happen to submit a proposal within a minute of the job being posted, it means one, right now, you're not working on other client work. You're on Upwork looking for jobs, which means your experience level and your expertise might not be that great if you're spending every minute of your day looking for jobs instead of working for clients that have already hired you. So it doesn't necessarily impress the client to be the first one to apply to the job, because then it shows that you're more desperate for work, that you're the one that is out of work, that you're the one that isn't working for clients right now because you have the luxury of being on Upwork all day waiting for job posts to be submitted, and then being the first one to apply. So I can tell you that doesn't necessarily impress the client and make you more likely to get chosen. So this person's 100% job success, top rated plus, $100,000 earned. Why is she at the very bottom of this whole thing? Okay, still English native or bilingual. And it could be because her hourly rate is so low beyond even my minimum. And virtual property manager, I mean, it's just irrelevant, right? It's just pretty irrelevant to my job post. So again, it goes to show that relevancy has a huge factor in the rankings of your proposals. And a lot of it has to do with your profile. It's not just the proposal. And most of what Upwork is doing to determine whose profile to surface here doesn't actually have to do with your proposal itself. It has to do with the details of your profile and whether Upwork thinks that you as a freelancer is a good fit for the job. And I'm sure they're probably scanning through your proposal and finding some keywords to make sure you've answered whatever questions, to make sure you have a cover letter there. But I'm thinking most of what affects the rankings here is your profile more than the actual proposal. The proposal is then the thing that convinces the client whether to choose you over somebody else. But I don't think the proposal has a huge effect on the rankings of your profile here in who's first, second, third, 20th, 30th, and so forth. Obviously, the first two sentences of your proposal matter when it comes to convincing the client to click on yours and then actually message you or invite you to the job. So, hopefully that gave you some further insights into how proposals and how your profile is being organized on the client side of things, so that you can understand what factors are involved in being able to optimize your profile and your proposal, mostly your profile it looks like, to be, according to Upwork, the best match that shows up. Okay, it actually says right here, look, when you hover over it, it says, what makes them the best match? This freelancer has been selected based on their work history and fit with your job. So yeah, I was right. The relevancy of this freelancer is having the biggest effect. So now if I specified certain other things, I think it also analyzes what I'm specifying in my job post, right? Intermediate experience, etc. But they're also looking at the work history. Oh, is your work history relevant to this job? When I've had Upwork push profiles to me in previous job posts, it always says something like, we're recommending this profile because of the relevancy of like their work history. Like they've completed. Okay, look over here. I think Upwork, we're going to invite a freelancer, usually says something like, okay, Jacqueline has highlighted one profile item relevant to your job, or they've completed 20 jobs that are similar to the job that you posted. That job history does make a difference, and that's why sometimes it just takes time to build up the job history of those relevant jobs. But yeah, there's definitely different factors involved that, again, you wouldn't know unless you're on the client side looking behind the scenes on how these profiles show up. So hopefully this is giving you really good insight that's going to help you better find a job in the next one that you apply to, knowing what factors are involved in what position your profile is in. If you have any questions, please comment below, and I'll see you next time.